morning, welcome back to my channel. Today is October 3rd, which means it is the beginning of Preptober. I'm so excited. Preptober is the month before National Novel Writing Month, which I am participating in. So it's kind of like you spend October preparing for the novel that you're going to be writing for NaNoWriMo. So I'm so excited because I get to start outlining. I am creating a new story. So you guys have heard a little bit about Blood of Amberum already. The story that I'll be writing in November is a high fantasy pirate novel. I already have a little tiny bit of an outline, but it's like 1,000 words maybe. It's basically just the idea. So we're gonna spend all of this month pretty much preparing to start writing that in November. So this morning, I'm just gonna do a quick writing sprint with my writing group on Discord. Okay, I just did a 30-minute sprint and did some world building. I'm already at about almost 2,000 words for the outlining so far. I've started, here's my new strategy, which I'm gonna keep you guys updated on because I'm a new novel writer. I've only written one novel and it's not even finished being drafted. This is my second novel, so I want to make sure that I'm like documenting this so that you guys can see the different processes I try and what works, what doesn't, maybe get some ideas for developing yourself as a new author, because that's exactly what I'm doing. So I basically wrote half of the first chapter to get an idea for the introduction to the story. So once I had that, I had an idea, and kind of writing out that first chapter really got some ideas flowing. So now I've started filling out details for the main character, or like the main point of view. I have started developing a timeline, and I have started developing some world building. So I already have multiple world building stuff, which I'll let you guys in on a little bit of it, so that you have an idea of where I'm going. So this one is a high fantasy pirate novel. Currently we have Danera, which was kind of the original world. So the idea in this kind of fantasy world is that it started as one big world or one big planet, and then something happened. We don't exactly know what it is. We might learn in this book, but I have a feeling it's like a sequel kind of answer about the universe. But basically something happened called the fracture, which you can think of as the Big Bang that we think of in like this world, if you believe in the Big Bang. So basically it caused this entire massive world of Danera to be split apart into 9 different realms. So all of these places exist within the same world, but they are now separated into these different realms because of the fracture. So the realms can be accessed through something called a tide rip. A tide rip is where the barrier between 2 realms is the thinnest, thin enough that it's easy to pass through. So these areas in the ocean are where you can travel between the realms, basically. So they're obviously regulated and protected, and 2 of the realms, so there's 9 in total, 2 of the realms no one has been able to find tide rips to enter anymore, so they're kind of like cut off from the rest of the world. Obviously, also some plot lines will be happening there. I don't know if it'll be this book. There's a lot of ideas in my head right now. So then we just have a couple other fun things, like some terms. For example, Skren. Skren is the currency of the 9 seas. So I've got some like currency going on. One of the realms I'm kind of developing because it's in the first chapter. It's called Nereus. It's also just called the second realm. So they kind of call them like the first realm, the second realm. The only things that I know about it so far are that it has 13 moons and very rough seas and lots of kind of rocky terrain. And lots of kind of chaotic tides, I guess, probably because it's got 13 moons. So it's kind of a very stormy, rocky realm. People still live there, and people actually mine something from the moons called Lunacore. It's very, very difficult to mine. I won't get into the details of how you actually get to the moon to mine it, because that's part of the story. But basically that's one of the realms I already have developed. I have 8 more realms to develop, but I'm really excited, and I can like see it in my brain. It's all very vague, but that's why we're doing Preptober, and that is why we are developing this. And I can already tell this is going to be the most complex world that I have created so far, which makes sense. I haven't created that many worlds in my life. But this one is really gearing up to have a complex system. So good thing we're getting started a month before we actually have to write it. So I have been listening to this pirate playlist. It's called Sailors Tell Stories, Pirates Make Legends. Love it. As I've been writing, I have also added my NaNoWriMo project. So I'm so excited. I updated the background so it's like dark seas. I kind of updated it to match the current project that I'm working on. So I updated the background. I added the project. It's called Between the Waves. I added like a little pretend cover art, just like a quick thing so that I have something there to look at. I pretty much left it very, very brief. So we've got like the summary, and then in the excerpt, a fallen empire, a queen lost to sea, a hunt driven by fate. That's literally all I have right now because there's like barely any plot so far. So it's hard to say exactly what's going on, but this is as close as I can get. And we've got that set up. So yeah, I've got my whole NaNoWriMo account set up. It's a couple hours later. I was watching some Preptober vlogs and like trying to see what some people suggest. And like, first of all, I love how seriously people take NaNoWriMo. The advice is genuinely the kind of advice that people are looking for if like you're so serious about writing that you want it to be your full-time job and you want to get that minimum 50,000 words done. And I live for that. And now I am it's 3 p.m. I think, so part of doing NaNoWriMo successfully, I think, is because I've done the camp. Okay, so I've done Camp NaNoWriMo. I think I should put that out there because I do have a little bit of experience, and for Camp NaNoWriMo, I did 50K. So from that little bit of experience I have, I think that it's really important to try and find a schedule that works for you. So I am treating my writing like it's a second job. So as some of you know, my current job is based in Ontario, which is a different time zone from where I live. So basically that job happens in the morning. So then the goal is that from probably around now, so about 4 p.m. to however late I decide, that's when I'm going to be doing writing, which when I was in Holland, finishing up Blood of Amberum, the first draft, I actually did work really well late at night. Like I would do stuff in the morning and then sometime in the afternoon, early afternoon, I would just write, and I would write until like midnight, and that actually worked really well for me. We're gonna try and get into that habit early so that when November comes around, I'm already in the habit of writing during my afternoons. Here's what we're gonna do first. Let's just open up my email here. So NaNoWriMo, the organization, has been sending me emails since mid-September that are kind of just like reminders that NaNoWriMo is coming up. They have a lot of good stuff in here. Like they have teaching you about prepping, like a workshop, a prep workshop course. They've got like a resource guide, just like lots of resources. So if you're interested in doing NaNoWriMo, you should sign up for their like email notifications because they send a lot of really great, helpful information there. So I'm just gonna go through these and make sure that I didn't miss anything that's super important. And I'm gonna start out my plan. This blank wall behind my desk right here, I think would be a perfect spot to get going with my planning stuff, which I already have an idea of how it's gonna look. It's gonna get crazy. It's gonna kind of look like this meme. So that's what we're gonna turn this into. This is the Blood of Amberum kind of like cover mock-up. I got it printed at like a print shop and it printed so dark and I don't know why, but that's okay. The point is just to have the inspiration there. It doesn't matter if it's not pretty. But yeah, we're not even working on Blood of Amberum for NaNoWriMo. We are working on Between the Waves. This is the project we're actually going to be working on. There we go. But this wall will shortly be filled with information regarding this novel.
'Cause practice makes perfect, you know. This struggle got purpose and we grow. So whatever road we have to take next, all I need to know is that we'll roll with the punches. We'll roll with the punches.
we've got the 9 realms named, which is good. I want you guys to be part of the entire process, and I want to record the entire process. I'm genuinely going to tell you everything that I do when it comes to world building, and most of what I do when it comes to the characters. Obviously you can't know everything about them because that would ruin some surprises. But I feel like world building, for the most part, I can share most of that. And then I'll share most of the character stuff as I develop them. And then I think the only thing I can't really share with you is the plot. Like, I'll probably start sharing the plot with you, and then as we get into like plot lines overlapping and subplots kind of, you know, being woven through, I feel like then I'll probably stop sharing. But for the most part, I want this entire process to be something that is accessible to everyone, and I want everyone to be able to see the process. So that was a long way of me saying, I'm gonna tell you what I named all of my realms now. So we've got the realms of the 9 seas. Asterisks, because the 9 realms of Demera are what they are. So as I kind of explained, basically, the world was split up into 9 different realms after something happened that is similar to what we call the Big Bang. In between the waves, it is called the fracture. So there are 9 realms. They are called the 9 seas. It's kind of just like what the people who live there actually call them. Technically, they are the 9 realms of Demera. Coming in at first place, we have the first realm. So all of them are also nicknamed, like literally the first realm, the second realm, the third realm, all the way to the 9th realm. They all have their own names that are based on the majority of territory that was there when the fracture happened. So the first realm is Locus. The second realm is Nereus, which is the one we talked about that has all of those moons, that also has a very lucrative business trading Lunacore, which we kind of talked about. It's in the first chapter that I wrote. The third realm is called Albasan, and Albasan is one of the 2 realms that does not have tide rip access. So remember we talked about the tide rips. They are basically spots in the oceans, because most of these realms are pretty much covered in ocean. They're very much like kingdoms full of connected islands, I guess. So Albasan is the third realm, and it does not have tide rip access, or no known tide rip access. Hint, hint, maybe there is actually a tide rip somewhere, but no one knows about it. But we don't know. Who knows? I don't even know if I know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Then we have the 4th realm, which is Andrian. We have the 5th realm is Myktos. The 6th realm is Triandel. And Triandel is the 2nd realm that also does not have any known tide rip access. So there's also no way to get to Triandel or Albasan. Maybe they can get to each other. I don't know. It's been a long time since anyone was there. In fact, it's been since before the fracture that anyone was in either of those territories. So we don't know yet. Both of them are not accessed by the 7 other realms that do in fact have access to each other through tide rips. The 7th realm is Sonata, the 8th realm is Balios, and then the 9th realm is Tauros. I'm once again going to draw your attention to this meme, which is what I'm feeling like right now. This like doesn't even scratch the surface of the world that I can feel building in my head, and this is also part of the reason that I want to so closely like document how this process is for me, because there is literally so much that is going into this story, and I can already tell that it's like I've had a vision, you know? Like I don't know how to explain how this world building works in my head, except that it starts from one little idea, or like I'm listening to a song and I see a scene play out in my head, and I feel like I can feel that it's part of this bigger story, and then somehow it develops into this pirate captain and missing queen and fallen kingdom and a world of 9 realms that split apart thousands of years ago, and it all just like spirals. So again, it's now Sunday night. It is time for me to go to bed. I was also just editing this footage already, and I realized how much I talked about just like the names of the realms and how I was arriving at those decisions. So let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you want to see throughout this prepping process. So pretty much all of October is outlining. I think I'm going to be uploading a few times a week for this because there's just so much that I want to cover that I think I'm going to have to upload multiple times per week in order to cover all of it, because I think it's all important and I think it's all something that I would have wanted to see when I was trying to, you know, outline for the first time. So let me know in the comments what exactly you're interested in seeing from a beginner author, basically. I'm going to go to bed. Don't forget to smile and like and subscribe to my channel, and also check out my Patreon. It's a great way to support me. I've got different tiers with different benefits, and I work really hard on my content, so I would appreciate it if you checked that out. No pressure. If you don't have extra money, there's literally no worries, because you can continue watching my content for free on YouTube anyways. So yeah, don't forget to smile, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.